Every month, money either gets assigned a purpose or quietly disappears without one. Have you ever opened your bank account near the end of the month and thought, where did all my money go? Not in a dramatic way, just a quiet moment of confusion. You worked all month, you earned your paycheck, you paid your bills, and yet somehow the number in your account looks almost exactly the same as it did last month, or worse, maybe even smaller. If that feeling sounds familiar, you're not alone. Millions of people experience this cycle every single month. They work hard, they earn steady income, they try to be responsible, and yet their financial life barely seems to move forward. It feels like running on a treadmill. Lots of effort, but no progress toward the destination they actually want. But here's something interesting. There are other people who seem to quietly escape this pattern. Their income might not be dramatically higher. Their job might look ordinary. But every year, their financial life improves. Their savings grow. Their investments expand. And slowly, almost invisibly, their financial stress disappears. They aren't necessarily working more hours or inheriting money. They're simply following a different approach, one that most people never stop to consider. So, what are they doing differently? They follow one silent financial rule, a rule so simple that most people overlook it completely. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll see how applying this rule once per month can quietly transform your financial future. The rule is this: every dollar must have a destination before it arrives. That's it. It sounds simple, almost too simple to be the dividing line between financial stagnation and lasting progress. But the difference between planning money before it arrives and planning money after it arrives is enormous. It's the difference between being the driver of your financial life and being a passenger wondering how you ended up where you are. Most people plan their finances backward. They receive their paycheck, they pay bills, they spend money throughout the month, and then at the end, they hope something is left to save. But hope is not a financial strategy, because spending naturally expands, small purchases appear, unexpected expenses show up, and slowly the money disappears, often in ways that feel unavoidable in the moment but seem completely avoidable in hindsight. Wealth builders reverse the process. Instead of asking, what should I do with my money now that it's here? They ask, what job should this money do when it arrives? This one shift changes everything. It moves you from a reactive financial life to a proactive one. This creates structure. Imagine your paycheck like a group of workers arriving for a job. If you don't assign them tasks, chaos happens. Some wander around doing random things. Some accomplish nothing. Some disappear completely. Money behaves the same way. Without direction, it vanishes. Small purchases here, convenient spending there, subscriptions you forgot about. None of these expenses feel dramatic, but together they quietly drain your financial progress month after month until years have passed and you're left wondering why your net worth hasn't moved. Wealth builders solve this with something incredibly simple: a monthly money map. Before the month begins, they decide exactly where their money will go: housing, food, transportation, savings, investments, entertainment. Every dollar gets a category. Every dollar gets a job. They don't leave it to chance. They don't rely on willpower alone. They design a structure that works with human nature rather than against it. This approach is often called intentional spending, and it changes the way your brain interacts with money. Because once your money already has a destination, spending decisions become easier. Instead of asking, can I afford this? A question that invites emotional justification, you start asking, is this part of the plan? And that one question changes everything. Why? Because humans follow structure far better than discipline. Discipline requires constant effort. It requires you to say no over and over again, which is mentally exhausting. Structure removes the need for effort. Think about GPS for a moment. Before GPS existed, every trip required constant decisions. Which road should I take? Should I turn here or keep going? Now imagine driving with GPS. The path is already defined. You simply follow it. A financial plan works exactly the same way. When you create a financial map, you remove the constant decision-making. Your money already knows where it's going, and your brain can stop spending energy on figuring it out in the moment. Now let's talk about the first destination wealthy people assign: investments. This is where the silent rule becomes powerful. Before spending money on lifestyle, they allocate money toward the future. This is sometimes called paying yourself first. But wealthy people implement it differently. They automate it. The moment their paycheck arrives, a portion of it moves automatically into investments before spending decisions happen, before lifestyle expansion begins. This automation protects their financial future, because if investing happens after spending, it often gets ignored. There's always a reason to postpone it. This month has an extra expense. Next month will be easier. I'll start once things settle down. But if investing happens first, the rest of life adjusts around it. That adjustment happens surprisingly quickly. Humans are incredibly adaptable. If you receive $4,000 per month and automatically invest $400, your brain quickly adjusts to living on $3,600. And after a few months, that structure feels completely normal. You don't miss what you never had available for everyday spending. This is one of the hidden reasons wealthy individuals accumulate wealth steadily. They remove the option to spend that portion before it ever reaches their checking account. Now here's something interesting. When investing happens automatically, something psychological changes. You stop thinking of investing as something you try to do. It becomes something you simply do, just like paying rent, just like paying insurance. And once investing becomes a routine, financial progress accelerates. You no longer debate whether to invest each month. You just execute. And that consistency is what allows compound growth to work its magic over decades. But the silent rule doesn't end there. Wealth builders also perform a monthly financial review. This review usually takes less than 20 minutes, but it keeps everything aligned. It's the feedback loop that ensures your money map is actually being followed. Without review, even the best plan can drift. During this review, they look at 3 numbers: income, spending, investments. That's it, 3 numbers. But those numbers reveal everything. You see where your money actually went, not where you thought it went. Because many people underestimate their spending. Small purchases are easy to forget. A coffee here, a quick online order there, a subscription you barely notice. Individually, these expenses seem harmless. But when you review them monthly, patterns become visible, and awareness creates control. Once you see the pattern, adjusting it becomes easier. Maybe you cancel subscriptions you don't use. Maybe you reduce spending in areas that don't bring much happiness. Maybe you redirect that money toward investments. Small adjustments compound dramatically over time. Let me give you a concrete example. Cancelling a $50 monthly expense saves $600 per year. If you invest that $600 for 30 years with an average 8% return, it could grow to over $70,000. That's not the result of a massive sacrifice. That's the result of a small, intentional choice that you make once, and then automation handles the rest. Now, multiply that by a few small adjustments: cancelling a forgotten subscription, lowering a phone bill, reducing dining out by 1 meal a week, and suddenly you're redirecting thousands of dollars a year toward your future without feeling deprived. That's the power of small financial improvements, not dramatic sacrifices, just intentional decisions made visible through a monthly review. And over time, those decisions begin changing something deeper than your bank account. They change your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to get better with money. You start seeing yourself as someone who manages money well, and identity drives behavior. Once you believe you are financially responsible, your actions naturally align with that belief. You start making decisions differently. You question purchases that once felt automatic. You invest consistently without debating it. You plan instead of reacting. It's a virtuous cycle. The routine reinforces the identity, and the identity reinforces the routine. Eventually, something remarkable happens. Money stops feeling chaotic. Instead, it begins feeling predictable. You know where your income is going before it arrives. You know how much you're investing. You know what you can spend without guilt because you've already funded your future first. Predictability creates confidence. Confidence creates better decisions. Better decisions create financial momentum. And financial momentum creates wealth. All because of one silent financial rule. Give every dollar a destination before it arrives. Follow the plan, adjust when necessary, repeat, month after month, year after year. And eventually you'll notice something surprising. Your finances are no longer controlling you, you're controlling them. The anxiety that used to accompany opening your bank account fades because you already know what you'll find. The confusion about where your money went disappears because you gave every dollar a job. And the slow, steady progress you once envied in others becomes your own reality. That quiet shift from reactive to intentional, from uncertain to confident, is where real financial progress begins. It doesn't require a higher income or a financial expert. It only requires one small change. Before your next paycheck arrives, decide where it's going, give it a destination, and let the structure do the rest.